Jeff Hurt.
It's an all-new tractor, and he is the test puller. The first...
Welcome, fans, to the 20th anniversary of the Show Me Showdown, powered by Generac. Hello again, everyone. I'm Ted Jones, along with Rick Carlson. Tonight we'll be bringing you unlimited super stocks. Let's find out more about these high horsepower rides with Doc Riley.
We're going to show you tonight the Unlimited Super Stock class. And what a class it is, the backbone, the signature class of truck and tractor pulling. These vehicles weighing 8,000 pounds. We'll see some Case IH red ones, we'll see some green ones, but we will see an awful lot of tough pulling action tonight. They can run diesel or alcohol. They're limited to 4 turbochargers in the class. And these guys, when they're set right and that track is perfect, we'll see them scampering towards 300 feet. To take a look at our track conditions, let's go to the third member of our broadcast team. Here's Lisa Tatum.
In years past, the track at Macon has been known to have the potential to get a little soft, which can cause breakage for the pullers. So the promoter and the track crew got together and decided to put a little sand in the track to make for a smoother pulling surface. This should definitely lead to put on a better show. Let's take it to Ted Jones in the booth.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa. Take a look at the crowd here, a capacity crowd on hand here at the Macon County Fairgrounds. Well, Rick Carlson will get things started with Runnin' Bear. This belongs to Jeff Hurt.
It's an all-new tractor, and he is the test puller. The first puller of each one of these events has the option of taking his pull or turning it down and coming back. We'll find out right now what Jeff Hurt and Runnin' Bear think of this race course.
Well, he had a little trouble getting the tractor fired up, but now he's on a pass, the front end coming in. Oh, he touches out of bounds. Unfortunate there as he wipes out the marker. We'll take another look at it with our Rml Carrier Replay.
And you can see he takes off, then the front end comes up, he grabs brakes, but nothing matters as it goes out of bounds.
Doc Riley is there.
Jonathan, one of those things, a track with an awful lot of horsepower and stuff, and you know, it looked like everything that was supposed to work worked as far as safety is concerned.
Yeah, all the things that, like you said, just worked. We have 2 chains, a primary and a secondary, and he got a little one-wheel is what we call it out here on the track, and he kind of came back down. He let out the throttle easy. He's an experienced young guy. Let it down, didn't hurt the front end. Hey, we can come back and drop him 5 and go into the 6th spot here and see what he can do.
Hager just had a little wild ride, but he's used to that.
Oh, yeah, that old guy. He's seen this a lot of times. So, I don't know. We're going to have a little hard time getting him out of the hole, but I think once we get down here, we're going to see him get down here hopefully about 280, 290.
Yeah, we will remind you now as we take another look at our Dixie Chopper replay. Normally he would be disqualified and out of competition, but because this was a test rule, all sins are forgiven.
Well, we thought it might be a little slick coming off the line. Boy, that was a wild one. What happened?
Oh, man, new tractor and everything. Motor run great. It drove a lot different than any of them I've ever drove. It come up a little different and did some things I didn't expect, and I wasn't ready for it. So we'll get another shot at it, and hopefully we can figure this out and make a pass out of it.
So up next will be the color of money. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Brent Payne.
And Brent Payne, the color of money. This is John Deere, and it's blue. It's not green, but he is stepping it up. A lot of wheel speed. Now it starts to slow down as the weight gets there, and he's dancing all over the track. The edge shuts it down. 269 feet, our current leader.
I don't think that'll be good enough to hold, though, for the native Hoosier. So let's take a look right now at Patrice Beaudry.
Patrice driving the Crazy Canuck. Steiger STX 500 all the way from St. Hyacinthe, Quebec, Canada. The Crazy Canuck, well, they want to show us how they want to do it in Canada.
Boy, that looks like a big Hemi head in there to me that Patrice is running. Hey, straight and true all the way down, front end down on the ground. Now lifts it up just a little bit, but not as good as Brent Payne. Only 264 feet. So we'll take another look at it with the Rml Carriers Replay.
Well, Patrice takes off, and it looks good. Now it starts bouncing a little bit, and when you bounce, you start losing momentum. Trying to overcome that, it goes to the side, grabbing the brake, and, well, it's just going to get way too heavy.
So Patrice will come up short, and Doc Riley was there to find out more about that run.
Truly is an international competition. Patrice Boudre from the great nation of Canada is here from Quebec. First of all, tell me about that pass.
Good pass. I think we were a little nose heavy. Didn't pick up the front end too much, but tractor's running good. The engine sounded good, so we're happy with this.
Tell us about the engine in this tractor.
It's a 903 Cummins. Of course, it's cubed down to 650 cubic inches because of limits. It's got 4 turbochargers, obviously running on alcohol. It's one of a kind.
This coverage of the Lucas Oil Professional Pulling League is brought to you by Lucas Oil Products, the world leader in heavy-duty and high-performance lubricants, and by K&N Filters, the world's best air filter. Welcome back. No, that's not the moon over Miami. That's the moon over Macon, Missouri. Hello again, everyone. Ted Jones. Doc Riley is down at the finish line. Rick Carlson in the booth here with me. We continue on now with our Unlimited Superstock category. And our next puller will be John Evans. He calls his tractor the Big Toy 2.
Another one of the red tractors, a Case I-8. This one an MX 270. Now he looks good, moving. The front end's bouncing. It looks like the strongest pull. Is it going to be? Yes, we have a new leader over 275 feet.
Well, we'll take one more look with our Rml Carriers Replay right now as he comes off the line, barely lifting those front tires up. The biggest thing is he's still able to steer with the steering wheel instead of the brakes, Rim.
That's it. He doesn't have to grab one of those rear wheel brakes to slow down the tire speed. And my goodness, a good-looking run. Doc Riley, we'll talk to our new leader.
Is there anything better than a nice summer night pulling in Macon, Missouri, and laying down a pass like that?
Oh, that was great. It was a really nice evening here tonight. It's pretty cool, and compared to the weather we have had out, you know, they have had out here, but it's a pretty good track. I felt pretty good about that. I don't know where I ended up at, but it seemed like it's a fairly good pass.
Well, you're leading the class right now by about 7 or 8 feet.
Oh, is that right? Well, that's great. I didn't. I thought the leaderboard said I wasn't up there that far, so yeah, that's great. I'm happy with that.
What about coming off the line? Was it a little slick?
No, it seemed to hook up pretty good, which I went up a gear and tried to ease it out a little bit and take away a little of the power, you know, at the starting line, and then it felt pretty good once I got going. Wasn't bad.
Now, earlier today, Doc Riley talked with the Hall Brothers pulling team, a second-generation team. So with that said, here's this week's Summit Racing Innovation in Engineering.
The Unlimited Superstocks have a rich history in pulling. They are really the backbone of pulling, and it was all diesel power to start with. But these guys right here in this team, the Minneapolis Moline, the G1000 Vista model, the Hull family out of Waupun, Wisconsin, has really done an awful lot with the alcohol ranks of the Unlimited Superstock class. Lyle Hull for many years continued to try to campaign a tractor. He would get it down the track almost to the very edge, and then it would detonate. Well, Nate, you guys have really done something here that kind of takes care of that detonation problem. A lot of the guys are running an intercooler. Tell us about it.
Well, yeah, like most of the people in our national class here are running an intercooler on the tractor. It's up front here. Ice water in one tank gets blown through another tank that goes around the air and cools the intake air temperature several hundred degrees and makes for a lot more reliable burn.
What about horsepower? Does it boost anything there? Is it more just reliable and a little bit more durability?
It helps a little bit with the horsepower, but the big payoff definitely is reliability with the motor not detonating.
You know, that was one of the things for years. You guys were running alcohol at that detonation problem because you were building an awful lot of horsepower. And let's talk a little about cubic inches and what kind of engine you run.
Well, we've got, it's a 585 crankcase we started out with. Basically just the crankcase and the crank are all that's left from Moline. We built our own cylinder jugs, our own heads, overhead cam, Hemi head. We got about 642 cubic inches. 3 turbos on alcohol.
That's just about the good situation, the good package for this class. Highly competitive class, you guys, with the Unlimited Superstocks.
It's a very competitive class. Everybody's running real similar technology under the hood, and everybody's digging real hard.
And it really puts it into the driver's hands, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it does. How you come out where you are on the track and the luck of the draw have a lot to do with it.
Just like in any form of pulling. But again, these guys, the second-generation driver right here, continuing to run the colors of the proud yellow.
All right, thank you very much, Doc Riley, and the Minneapolis Moline is on the line right now, ready to go. Aaron Hall.
Aaron Hall, well, we've seen red, we've seen green, and now the yellow. You found out all about that engine just using the stock block. How far can they pull? Well, it's only going to be good enough for third place right now. That 260 8 feet, not going to get it done.
Had a little bit of porpoising going on there in the front end. Probably didn't have the weights set just exactly right. You can see he comes off the line pretty gently, having a good pull. Not a lot of wheel spin back there as it moves him down the track, but now it starts, Rick.
And there comes the porpoising, just like you said. Finally on the brakes, straightening it out. The sled gets very heavy as the weight gets to the top, and the front end drops. And as we said, third spot. Here's Doc Riley.
Well, looked like a pretty good pass. Your thoughts on that run?
I tried over way on the left, and I don't know if that was too good a thing. I should have had another weight up front for sure, but it's kind of a tricky track out there tonight. Some spots work. It bites and lets you go and pulls you both ways, and I don't know. Wasn't a very great pass, but we'll see what we end up with.
What about coming off the starting line? People said it's been kind of slick. Was that kind of your thought?
I was at first, but it seemed to hook up pretty fast over there. Just if I would have had some more weight on those, I think it'd done a lot better.
So up next will be Dave Moreno, no relation to football, great Dan Moreno, believe me, with the tractor that he calls the Show Me Showdown because it's from Macon, Missouri.
Wow, the local racer wants to do good front of the crowd with his red tractor. A lot of wheel speed, but he's not getting very far. Now he's heading to that right boundary line, and Hale has to shut it down.
He did manage to stop it before he went out of bounds, though, although right now he's in last place. But if one of the other pullers does go out of bounds, he'll move up the chart a little bit. We'll take another look at it one more time to see if we can see what happened. Well, right there, he's having to apply some brake. Remember, they steer with the back wheels here. He did use the steering wheel just a little bit, but finally had to give it up to keep from being disqualified. Now, Jeff Hurt, our trial puller, gets his second run.
Well, we'll see if he was able to learn anything when he came out the first time. Remember, he ended up all the way out of bounds, so it was a good thing he was a test puller. Right now he moves it farther to the left as the steam being vented, and he's staying out in the middle of the track. It's hopping, it's bouncing. 272. Not going to move him up to the lead, but a definite improvement.
Absolutely. I think that's good for second place as it currently stands. So he definitely improved himself. Remember, in that test pull, he actually jackknifed with the sled back there. Right now, a really good pull. Good enough for second place.
Well, if you're going to do something, do it in a spectacular fashion. What happened?
I think the breather on the fuel tank got some fuel up on the turbos now. We had a little fire up there. Tickled to death with the way the motor ran, the way the tractor worked. To be able to come out the pass like this and on a brand new tractor, I just got to thank all the help that helped put it together. Brent Long for the motor, Joe Etter for the help on the chassis.
It sounded stout.
Oh yeah, it's a good motor. That's why we bought it. Brent builds nothing but the best.
And speaking of Brent Long, there he is. We'll have his pull after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Show Me Showdown, coming to you from the Macon County Fairgrounds in Macon, Missouri. Ted Jones and Rick Carlson here on my side with you. Let's take a look at the current standings. As you can see, John Evans the leader, but only by about 3 feet over Jeff Hurt, who is in second place, and many pullers yet to go. Beginning right here with Brent Long. We talked about him before the break, the famous engine builder. He calls it the Long Machine.
And it is got blue flames on it. And it's the drawing and painting on it. It's a wild machine. And, well, 188 feet, and something did not sound right.
No, he shut that down intentionally, maybe to save a motor. You can see he just backed it down and stopped the tractor right there at 188 feet. So we'll move on now to Joe Kweikowski, another famous engine builder, builds a lot of the engines for the tractor pullers. He calls this taking care of business as things begin to turn green.
Kweikowski, a former champion, comes out. He has experience, he has knowledge, he has tuning skills. Well, let's see how much business he can really take care of. Is he going to be able to move around that 275-foot mark? Well, he's starting to bounce the porpoise. The 257, no, he shut it down, and you can hear the little squeak as he shut the engine off.
Now, here comes Jordan Lustig, a very unusual setup on this tractor.
Jordan Lustig and the Silver Bullet machine have become a household name in tractor pulling. With 6 national championships under his belt, this tractor definitely runs as good as it looks. The murals on the side are almost of photographic quality. If you ever get the chance, you should really stop in the pits and take a chance to really check out this tractor. Jordan, who does the paint for you?
A fellow out of Idaho. His name is Vilio. He goes by Vilio Custom Artwork and Graphics.
And with a record like yours, why even bother spending the money on looks?
Well, we like to look good as well as perform well out on the track. It gives a nice show for the fans, brings maybe the professionalism of the sport up a notch, and it just kind of goes hand in hand.
What do you think it's going to take to get championship number 7?
Well, obviously it's going to take some good luck. It's also going to take some hard work on our part. Just being smart, tractor performing well up to what it needs to be, and like I say, good luck's going to play a major part in it also.
Well, tractor that runs good and looks good. Here's the championship number 7.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa. Now, the unusual thing I was talking about, not only the gorgeous artwork, but ladies and gentlemen, this has a Caterpillar diesel converted over to alcohol fuel.
And they have had nothing but problems in the 2005 season. 2006 has been a successful outing, and look at that pull. 278 feet, a new leader.
Boy, no problems tonight as he takes the lead. We've got to take another look at that one with the Rml instant replay. Coming off the line right there, keeping the front end down, plenty of rear tire speed, and not slipping too much.
And he started at the left of the lane, and now he moved to the center. He's taking it very easy. Where others seem to bounce hard, it looks like he has everything controlled with that throttle. Enough to move into the lead, even though it was off to the side.
Jordan, it looked like you started this pull a little bit different than anyone else did in the class. Why start on that sideline?
We had to try something different. Nobody getting a real good hook out of the right side middle. We just trying anything. We moved to the left, really drove it out a whole long ways, but when it hooked up nice, but it shot me to the right severe. Just riding the brake really hard, but we tried the best we could.
You had an awful lot of distance to play with, so you didn't have to worry about the right sideline at all.
Yeah, that's correct. But like I say, we just had to try something different, move some weights around, fatten the fuel system up just to get it hooked. Track's not hooking real well for the unlimited supers, but did the best we could.
All right, coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, this is David Anderson, sponsored by Anderson Farms.
Another one of the red tractors. I think we've seen more red here, Ted, than we've seen at any of the other events. Not as much green as what we're used to. Look at the weight bar way out in front. He's wanting that weight to stay up front and keep the front end down on the track. Well, it doesn't look like it's working the way you'd like.
Maybe should have had some more weight out front right there as he comes up short at 228 feet. Meanwhile, John Evans spots for Tim Howe. We'll have that after the break. Gonna put it right in the middle. No, maybe over here. Now our next puller coming up will be Tim Howe. You saw John Evans, his teammate, spot for it. What they do, they go back behind the sled and they put the traffic cone where they want the sled to back up to.
And now, Tim Howe finds Toy. He was spotted by John. Is it going to help? It looks like a good run. He's just moving a little bit here toward the end.
New leader, 279.44 feet. He takes the lead by about a foot right there. Let's see how he did that once again with the Rml replay.
He is coming straight at us. It's bouncing very lightly. He's still able to steer it. Now it's moving a little bit farther. He's on the brakes, but the tires are still hooking up, and it is a good run. He gets a long way down the track before the weight gets over that axle.
Looked like coming off the line, you had a pretty good handle. Didn't look like you got on it right off the line. Is it a little slick up there?
It's a little slick up there. Tires busted loose. We had to back off the RPMs a little bit. We took it up a gear higher, try to get a little bit better hole shot on there. Maybe we wouldn't buzz the tires so hard. So we're glad with the hook. Everything worked out pretty good.
Up next will be the Desperado. This is Sid Broughton.
Sid Broughton all the way from Silver Springs, New York. One of the Empire State pullers coming over to see what he can do with the big kids. And, well, he got into the throttle very easily, and then he floored it, and right now it's bouncing, it's moving, but it's not going to do it.
No, way short at 268.86 feet. So we'll move on to our next puller. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Larry Roberts. He calls it the Big Toy out of Wilmington, Ohio.
Well, we've seen Big Toy too. We've seen Ryan's Toy, and now Larry Roberts is the original Big Toy. The teammates, he's been able to use that information. Let's see if it's going to help. It looks good. Front end is lightly dancing, and oh my goodness, look at those numbers.
294.36 feet. This will be your winner because that's the last puller. So Doc Riley will get down there to talk to him as we take a look at the replay.
If you want to diagram the perfect pull, this is it. It moved just a little bit, but they expected that. He's been bouncing, it's dancing, all the right things for Larry Roberts to pick up the win.
A lot of power as that weight came down to that rear axle. He kept having the traction and the power to move on well beyond that 279-foot mark.
Last hook of the night, you were all over the place. I mean, all over the place on that run. Tell me about that pass.
Well, I tried to bring it out a little easy and get her hooked up. It hooked up, and it just kind of teeter-tottered down the track, and it finally got hooked in and went straight.
299 and some change to take the win.
That's great. Couldn't ask for much more. It was a tough one, but we got her done.
Very tough class. Was it slick coming off the starting line?
Yeah, you had to really ease it out, and it's hard to know exactly when to get into the throttle at the right time to get it hooked up to the track. And I think I got in a little too quick. I got back out of it and finally got it hooked up.
Nice pass, great running tractor. I know there's a lot of people behind you that you got to thank because it's just not you sitting in the seat, but you sitting in the seat made the win tonight.
Yep. Johnny Evans, my crew chief, Tim Howe drives with us, Jim. We got a good crew back here, and I'll tell you what, it's tough to beat all these guys. He's got a good bunch of tractors back there.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
So let's take a look at the final standings right here. You can see Larry Roberts winning by quite a amount.
Oh, he had a 15-foot margin over Tim Howe, his teammate. Well, he liked it, even if John Deere didn't win.
So here's the point standings as we get down toward the end of the season. Tim Howe up by only 2 points. For information on any of the products featured on today's program, check out these websites. Next week, we'll have more coverage from here in Macon with Pro Stock Tractors. Until then, I'm Ted Jones for Doc Riley and Rick Carlson. So long.